Seoul, 1953. Outside a U.S. Army mess hall, a woman digs through a trash pit. Not for anything valuable, just scraps other soldiers threw out with their trays. Sometimes there were cigarette butts mixed in with the food. She's after a stubby pink block of meat soldiers keep tossing out or selling off for pennies. In the U.S. Army's own mess halls, it's a punchline. The meat you eat when there's nothing else. That can is Spam. 70 years later, that same can is one of the most desirable gifts you can hand someone in Korea. Sincerely. 9 tin gift boxes with a bottle of olive oil sell for $75 to $80 and sell out. Gift sets alone make up 60% of every can sold in the country each year. Korea eats more Spam than anywhere on Earth except the US, with a sixth of the population. Garbage outside a fence became one of the most respected gifts in the country. It's 2 systems, one illegal, one corporate, that both decided this can was worth protecting.
Here's the part almost nobody covers. American bases ran on a legal bubble. Everything inside, steak, whiskey, canned meat, came in completely tax-free, on one condition: it could never leave the base. It leaked anyway, through soldiers, employees, entire smuggling networks. It got so bad that decades later, the U.S. Government Accountability Office formally audited it and named Spam specifically, alongside rice, cheese, and Chivas Regal Scotch, as one of the items moving off American bases in suspiciously high volumes. That leaked meat built an entire dish. Cooks near bases like Ujeongbu threw whatever came over the fence, Spam, hot dogs, American cheese, into a pot with kimchi and gochujang. After Lyndon Johnson supposedly loved it on a 1966 visit, some restaurants started calling it Johnson-tong, a stew named after 2 American presidents, still sold across Korea today. But smuggling only explains how Spam arrived. It doesn't explain the luxury status, and that part has nothing to do with America at all.
In 1985, Hormel licensed Spam to a Korean company, CJ-jigae. Since 1987, every single can sold in Korea has come out of one factory. None of it is imported. Hormel doesn't ship a single tin across the Pacific for the Korean market. Here's the twist almost nobody knows. CJ-jigae used to be part of Samsung. Founded in 1953 as a sugar company, it didn't spin off until the 90s. The conglomerate behind Korea's biggest gift tradition spent decades as a Samsung division. But that gift tradition is quietly cracking. Younger Koreans increasingly skip the physical box and just send cash over KakaoTalk. And some companies now actively discourage gift giving, partly because of an anti-corruption law capping how much value officials and teachers can legally accept. For a business that pulls 60% of its revenue from one holiday ritual, that should be fatal.
Except CJ built something even stranger on top of that ritual. A second economy that doesn't care whether the gift gets opened at all. Spam gift sets are so common that most households end up with more than they'll ever eat. So many unopened boxes flood secondhand markets right after every holiday that Korea's biggest resale app, Carrot Market, built an actual buyback system for them. A fixed price per can, resold through 7-Eleven stores nationwide. During stretches of high inflation, sales of these secondhand sets jump by double digits because a resold $75 box still reads as a real gift at half the price. It's the exact same trick the black market ran in 1953, just running on an app instead of a hole in a fence. And it's gotten so tangled that the whole relationship now runs backward. In 2024, Hormel launched a Korean barbecue-flavored Spam, not in Korea, but exclusively at Walmart in the United States, followed by a gochujang variety at Costco, both built explicitly to chase Korean-American demand. 70 years after Spam reshaped Korea, Korea started reshaping Spam. Every ribboned box under a Chuseok table, every unopened tin flipped for cash on a resale app, is running on the same instinct that sent a woman digging through a trash pit in 1953. Find the thing nobody else wants and make it worth everything. If you want more hidden business behind stuff you already eat, hit subscribe. This is NEUVOX.